Good morning, everybody. Another law of attraction video. I was going to talk about number one is changing up your routine. And so one way to kind of help reprogram your mind is to change up your routine. So just for instance, every morning or every evening when I go to bed, I take out my contacts, I brush my teeth, I put on my pajamas, I turn off my computer, I go around the house and do a few things, and just changing that up. So instead of like brushing my teeth first, maybe I go put my pajamas on first and then go make coffee for the next morning. Driving a different way to where you go daily. Like I do this thing in my car where there's two ways I can go most places when I drive out of my neighborhood. And I will just sit at that stop sign, like assuming no one's behind me, and just give it a minute or a second or whatever it takes and just go, what's the best way to go? And I listen to my intuition. Does this feel better or does this feel better? And then I go the way that feels better. And it teaches you to use your intuition. It teaches you to not just get in this routine of the same thing day after day after day, which gets monotonous and it doesn't help change your brain. And when I say change your brain, I'm talking about like literally changing the connections in your brain. When you go a different way to work or a different way home or a different way to the grocery store, it forces you to be like pay attention to like the stop signs and the lights and other traffic, where if you just go the same old way, you're like you just turn into like a robot where you have those thoughts and then you get to where you're going and you're like, how did I even get here? Did I stop at that stop sign? So things like that. So just changing your routine, as simple as that, can help just change things, and it can bring new opportunity. Like maybe you didn't know that restaurant was there, or maybe you stopped to get gas at a different gas station and you met somebody that could help you with your business, or it's just like all these different things where when you're in routine, you're not paying attention. And this kind of helps you pay attention, even as simple as like brushing your teeth at a different time in the evening, or because it forces you to like pay attention to different things. Like if you're just brushing your teeth and heading straight to bed, maybe you brush your teeth first and then you have all these other things to do before you go to bed. So while you're brushing your teeth, you're thinking of different ways to do those other things. So just changing things up, it helps reprogram your mind. It helps bring in new opportunity. It helps you pay attention and be more aware of your surroundings. And then seeing the opportunity in everything. And the last two things, seeing the opportunity in everything and also reflecting on what contrast you had in the past that ended up being a really good thing. Now that the hindsight is 2020. Now that you look back on it, you're like, wow, during that, I just thought my world was falling apart. But now that I can look back, I'm like, that's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And as an example for me is when we moved up to the Portland area from our small town in Southern Oregon, I was not really happy with it. I would have never chosen this area to move to. I was a small town girl. I didn't want to, like the big city just scared the heck out of me with the freeways and all the people and all of that stuff. So now that we've been here for almost 14 years, I believe, I just see like what better opportunities this area brought for my kids, because there's just more money and more opportunity, more opportunity for us to grow as a family, because we were like kind of taken away from all of our friends and family. So we were forced to be independent and to depend more on each other. And when I look back on that, like I look back on the trip, just the trip. I was moving into a house that I'd never seen before because my husband was here before me working, and he went and rented the house. And coming up here that day ended up being, it should have been like a 6-hour trip, and it ended up being like a 12-hour trip with rain. And when we went through Eugene, Oregon, there was a Ducks game getting out, so there was crazy traffic. We almost lost our U-Haul trailer to some circumstances. It was just a mess. And I remember just being so angry and so frustrated and really trying to just be like, no, this is okay. It's all going to work out better than expected. And it like took a while, but yes, it worked out way better than expected. And I'm so happy to be here. And now thinking about moving to a small town, I'm just like, no, thanks. I'm kind of a city girl now. I like all the options and all the opportunities that living in a city brings me. So that's an example for me personally. I also would love to live out in the country again and have my huge farm and my horses and my arena and all that good stuff. So it's like when I think about that, I'm thinking about something that's like, 5 or 10 minutes from town. So I can still have all the conveniences. And there's totally those places that you don't have to be like 20 miles out. You can literally be like 5 miles away from all the good stuff and still have all of that. So anyways, finding the opportunity in all these situations. So when you have these things that happen to you, whether they're as small as a flat tire or as big as having to move to a whole different community that you might be a little afraid of, see the opportunities in that and start embracing those opportunities. And even though it can be scary, if you start looking at the positive, it just makes it so much better. So, like the flat tire, like maybe you find a spare that you didn't even know you had. Maybe you go to a new tire shop and they're super nice and they give you a really good deal and you can start recommending that to other people. If you have to move to another city, maybe there's more opportunity. If you're a young mom, maybe there's some really great mom groups, or you find a really good daycare, or, so you just have to be open to the opportunities. And the one thing that I like to say is it's all going to work out better than expected, because it literally leaves everything open to opportunity. There's no stipulations on that. Everything will end up better than expected. So that is my video for the day. You guys all have a great day and a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.